overarching mission is to, and it's the title of the center, but it's to improve the quality of life for people through using the arts to do that, and that's using all the arts and improving quality of life for children, for patients in the hospital, heart patients, AIDS patients, everywhere, and finding avenues that we can reach out to individuals using the arts, and also to promote research in this area because it's a relatively new area.
In the research portion or the research mission of the center, we want to examine the outcomes of the arts in a very broad way and go beyond what's been done before in terms of looking at the effects of the arts physiologically, psychologically, socially, aesthetically, spiritually, in ways that have not really been examined before.
The other one is to then train and educate people about how the arts can improve quality of life and to train them to use the arts to improve quality of life.
Our service mission is now called Arts at Your Side, and it's very broad. And what we want to do is bring the arts to various cultural communities in the area, in the region, and across the nation.
This idea was born many years ago. I've thought about this idea for so long of how the arts can make a positive difference in people's lives. And I've seen that throughout my whole career as a musician and also as an educator. I've taught at various levels from young children to college and graduate students. And you really see how the arts can play such an important part in people's lives. And I've always thought, well, how can we reach more people and how can we really make a difference for people throughout the world, really.
Although we didn't want to keep it strictly to music, that we wanted to include all the arts because the Boyer College includes both music and dance. So we wanted to make it as broad as possible.
This conference was very important to establish networks, and the feedback has been just tremendous. I think a real outcome measure is people have been coming to us after the conference saying, we want to work with you, we want to be involved. And this conference brings in people from the medical field and in the arts world together that are looking at topics like this. The thing that makes us unique is that we're pulling in so many different areas, not only the arts, but in education and social work and the health field, and bringing this in. And it's really the first of its kind that we can find in the country, this type of research center. You know, and there's always been talk of how the arts can improve the quality of life of individuals, and there's been some studies on how even students that are taking their SAT scores and going on to college, the students that have been involved with music or the arts in an early age do so much more better on just aptitude and test scores, SAT scores, and testing. This one study looking at the ways that music can help someone going through a surgical procedure and making the outcomes of that so much better. So this center is looking at, first of all, answering that question, can the arts really make a difference in people's lives? And all the research is indicating, yes, it definitely can.
Life is crazy when I'm feeling down, but when I'm feeling down, it makes me... Love cannot stop. We got the love shield. Hold up your heart. Love cannot stop. We got the love shield. We got the love shield.
Who got the love cannot stop? Heaven, why don't you put the love cannot stop?
And we started this songwriting program with at-risk youth as part of our Arts at Your Side program. This is our community service program of the Research Center. And the goal of it is to really bring arts programming to the community and research then the effect that the arts have on the quality of life of the participants in the program. This is a songwriting program because we want them to explore issues that they encounter in their daily life. And when you just talk to kids about it, they may be a little more hesitant to openly talk about some of the issues that they see, but within the moment of creativity, they're just much more eager and open to share some of their insights.
we had the first song we did was called Hey Neighbor, and it was just they started thinking about their neighborhood and things that were happening there, and a lot of it was just focused on, very particular things, going to my grandma's house, and then she has a playground in the neighborhood, and just kind of describing some of the things that they see every day that make a difference. And then out of that, one of the girls in that group, in that songwriting process, drew a picture of a house, and she put a kind of a shield around it, because she said there were some things that were scary sometimes in the neighborhood. People who make her go woo, and so they just, whoever she was working with, they made a shield around the house, and that was called the Love Shield. So now we're doing a song called the Love Shield. They described what that was, and our and it's just kind of adding to that original idea of what are the things around you that make you feel good, make you feel safe.
We provide a 3-course hot meal. We provide after-school program homework assistance. And from 5 to 6, when generally kids are going home, we have additional programming, like Hear Our Voices.
I was looking around just for something that was convenient to my son's daycare, and one of the other parents that goes to school with Tamar had mentioned it, so we came here. The first year we were just really trying it out, and the second year I was going to transfer him to a different program, but he really liked the program, so I wanted to let him stay in an environment that he was comfortable with and he was pleased with. So before, he was really shy, and the program has helped him express himself a little more and decide some of the things that he wants. Like, again, I was looking around for different programs and just trying to find things that was comfortable for us. But when he said he really liked the interacting with the kids and the different things that they offer, like this program, for example, this year he started playing basketball. So he was having a little problems with behavior, talking and stuff, so different outlets. And I noticed with the different outlets that he's participating in, that it helps him in school as well.
I see what we're doing here as a community. And more than anything, that's a word that continuously comes to my mind. What they do here is build community, and what we've tried to do with our music group is to build a group of kids that learn to listen with their ears, learn to see each other differently with their eyes, play new roles, and learn how to build their own community in the little microcosm of our music group, and take that understanding of what community is in music and build it out into the church, then out into Kensington out into Philadelphia out into the East Coast, and so forth and so on.
It takes a community to raise a child, and it certainly does. And I feel as though here at our church at Hancock St. John's, we are a big part of that component in helping raising someone's child. I discipline them like they're mine. I praise them like they're mine, because I want them to understand that mom and dad or grandma, whoever is responsible for raising them, is not the only one that is holding them accountable to reach their potential.
Funding, for sure. Finding money to keep these programs running is an issue, because we're trying to serve underserved communities. So these centers don't have money themselves, so we do this through grant writing. We try to keep the program going, but the kids are so excited about being in this songwriting program, and also the prospect of making a CD is so exciting for them, that they are there, almost every week.
Parents are like, okay, so how are you going to do that for 50 kids? Because I want my kid in it. So we really had to figure out, okay, how are we going to handle this? Because now that we did this big thing with the older ones, we still have 40 kids that didn't participate, and they can only take 12 kids. So right now I am in the process of writing grants, because if they can't do the rest of them, because they can't get the money, I'm going to have to get that money up and support the rest of that program. Because my students, the rest of them, are expecting that when this 14 weeks ends, that they're next in line. They're not expecting to be said, oh, they're not going to be here anymore. That's not an option for me.
Tuesday is special because I go to music.
We listen to the CD at home more often than you think.
And people that we love.
There's a lot about love.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. There's a song called Crazy. They be singing it all the time.
They just love the creativity.
It's a positive thing. Identify those positive things, and keep them with them, and then bring them out.
Whatever they are getting here, to be frank with you, it's theirs. You know, they deserve it. That's what they're supposed to be getting, and nothing less. You know, I'm not giving them anything that they're, oh, let me give these poor little kids. You know, these are programs that they rightfully should have, and they shouldn't have to write a grant for it. It should already be given to them.
So we're there every week, 3 days, 2 music therapists, myself and another music therapist, Mike, and we are leading these individual sessions with these kids. Kids are writing a lot of just really fantastic songs. The program really is meant to help these children process some of their emotional responses to being confronted with a diagnosis of spinal cord injury or struggling with living with a spinal cord injury.
What these kids are doing is using songwriting in particular as a form of expression to either use as a diversion or to directly discuss their newly acquired injuries and their new life. So some kids have come in here and have directly put their lives for us to hear and have written intimate lyrics about their injury and have discussed the process with us, and then hears it back as a way of dealing with the transformation of an old life to a new life and what has gone on in their unique situation. Thinking about it, you mess yourself up. Just think about a certain topic, like whether it's your surgery tomorrow, and think about your feelings towards that and just let it come out naturally, all right?
I got surgery tomorrow, and I'm so scared. Mm-hmm. If I wasn't in a wheelchair, I wouldn't even be prepared.
But it's so easy for them to create this stuff, and they feel really empowered. I've seen them feel just so empowered after hearing it, and it sounds so good, and it sounds professional, and it sounds real, and it sounds like the music they're listening to. There it is. Another sound, ready? You hear it in there? Yeah. Feel like there's no chance, keep pushing, never give up. You gotta roll with the punches. I know it's frustrating. I've definitely seen kids who come in here who are really kind of intimidated or nervous, not sure what this is all about, and the first moment, you know, they hear a beat come out of this, they're instantly drawn to it. And it usually starts with getting lost in the sounds and the beats and the keyboards or the loops that are in GarageBand. And then maybe it progresses towards lyric writing and putting the song together. Some kids just do instrumentals.
When you feel like there's no change, well, I said change instead of chance.
5, 6, 7.
When you feel like there's no chance, keep pushing, never give up.
I don't know the lyrics to my song. I got surgery tomorrow, so I'm so scared. If I wasn't in a wheelchair, I would be prepared.
When I think about missing you, I'd rather be home with you. Very good.
Said I am here and I don't know what
to think.
I've been missing you, I really do. Missing you, I really do. They get more comfortable with us and begin to express themselves and begin to laugh, begin to, just have a brighter look on their situation. Our thoughts affect our physical presence. And so when you get them in a situation to where they're having this positive experience, the brain and the body want to keep having that experience. And for some of these kids who are striving to get better and have to work really hard at physical therapy, who have to every day try to use parts of their body that they're disconnected with, it can get really down and out for them and feel like there's no chance. And so a lot of kids have come in here, loosened up and talked, said, I want to write a song about never giving up, or I want to write a song about how hard you have to work. And it's almost like they're telling their brain, this is what you have to do, and it's what you have to do to make it, and to keep that positive thinking going so that your body can react.
Well, they put up in a film, they had her at the side of her head in a big screen, and they brought the family in for a conference, and they said from what they can see on the MRI, her chances of moving or breathing was 0. Oh, I'm really proud of her, that she can put it into words. It's a great opportunity for her to be able to express it in this song. And I think she's inspirational to other people. I really do.
I mean, I was nervous and skeptical about it at first too, but I just started out, I just started fooling around with it, and it's fun. It was a really good experience. It really helped out a lot, being able to write down.
The product of the CD itself is never really as important as the process that they went through to create the song in particular. So the process of coming in here, building a relationship, trusting someone enough to put those emotions out there.
Some of the patients have chosen to write songs as a message of hope and a message of inspiration. Very often the words just come out and they start writing these songs, and at the end of the session they're just so excited about what they did, and they can't wait to come back the next time to continue.
Somebody's plan, make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody.
A lot of these songs have wonderful messages about determination and hope and not giving up. And I think if we can share that with the community, it will help us to educate people.
I run the HIV program up here, and during the course of going to conferences, international conferences, I was very impressed by seeing choirs of the beauty of their singing and their work, but also the spirit that you could see and how it gave them something to sort of focus on that wasn't related to illness. Was very positive, sort of life-affirming. Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon, especially now with people wearing iPods or other types of things, and people will tell you that they use music often as a source of stress relief or a way of dealing with bad things that are going on. They find that they can sort of feel better physically and mentally when they're involved with music or something else. And it's always, I think, a connection that you make with patients when they reveal that to you. So it's that, in fact, they have an outlet, that they have a way of dealing with those things in their life. What would we do in the future? I think we have to try and maybe come up with some other ways of getting people to realize that this is you know, in a sense, it would be such a positive thing for them, something that would help them out. But it's difficult. People have a lot of stuff going on, and you have to be willing to invest the time to get the payback at the end.
So maybe what a friend we have in Jesus. How's that? All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God. Everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace.
In 2004, our dean, Robert Stroker, came to me with the idea of trying to put together something that would advance some of the things that we were doing in music therapy, such as using music for people in hospitals and using music for people who needed it or were very vulnerable. And it was then that the idea of the Arts and Quality of Life Research Center was born.
How do you think a field such as music therapy and bringing music to bedsides like of cancer patients, of any kind of hospital?
It means a lot. Because, I mean, you have a lot of patients in the hospitals these days that just lay there. There's nothing for them to do. There's nothing for them to really focus on. They look at TV and their lives sometimes makes it real miserable. It's just like some of the programs today, they bring pets into the hospitals, which gives them a sense of being, you know, especially the elderly, especially the elderly.
Arts, and we allow them to create, and creativity gives options to people, and by finding the options in their creative work in music or visual arts or dance, they also realize their creative options for living their life, and that life is not only one direction for them, but they learn a different way to live, and that ultimately improves quality of life. The interesting thing about, for example, music, is that people can participate in many different ways. For example, they can be actively engaged in songwriting or creating music through improvisation, but they can also choose to just listen in a very passive way. So opportunities to engage in the arts is really broad and tailored to what the person might desire to do.
Make sure I do it right again.
No, you will. You're going to get it right this time. Why? Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, soft and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. See, she did that right. It make you cry. It do make you cry.
Because I'm a good listener. I listen to my director.
Yeah, that was a good song.
Yeah.
Every time somebody asks me about a song, I ask them about songs because everybody is in the hip hop, and everybody is in the jazz, and they're in the gospel, and everybody know all kinds of different songs. But that one particular song, that song I grew up with during hard times, and it's a nice song.
That's a nice song. Has a lot of memories
Yeah.
associated with it.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Now y'all really got something real. The tears is not fake. I was trying to use a morphine drip to go to sleep. Now I can't sleep.
That backfired on us.
Yeah, that backfired. I ain't expected to backfire like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hard times back then. But those was one of the songs that we sang when we was in school. I said, here I go. That's a fire. That's what drill. Like, but that was it. All right, I hope y'all got all that. Y'all got all that? Did you get all that, man?
And sometimes that gets lost along the way. but we all have the potential to be creative. And I think that within our research center, by using the arts, we re-stimulate or continue to stimulate that creative potential in individuals, which is innately healthy. So that we can tailor the intervention to something that they might be interested in, and then gradually involve the arts if that's what they were interested in doing.
How long were you suffering from migraines before you realized art could provide this kind of release?
Probably about 6 or 7 years, when I was just trying to get through the day, each day. When I realized how helpful it was to me, that this could help somebody else, you know? What if someone else sees this and they go, oh, wow, you know? Yeah, she knows how I feel. Other people are going through this too, and I wouldn't feel so alone.
Have you been attempting to turn any other migraine sufferers onto art as a way of relief?
Absolutely. If I have a moment to talk to someone about it, then I definitely bend their ear about it. Because I see so many, particularly women, suffer from migraine. And a lot of people just think it's a headache. They don't realize how bad it is. So if I have a chance to talk to somebody about it, I do.
I think that what we plan to do is something very, very simple, because it doesn't take elaborate music or art or whatever to access what the patient or what the person needs to express.
Okay. And I wasn't fortunate enough to have music therapy, but I did I tried a lot of things.
Well, do you play any music, or?
I don't, but I love it.
Well. I don't know how much more noise for someone with migraines would help.
Yeah, it's noise and smell. All your senses are completely magnified, and so you just have to minimize any outside interaction. So you basically feel like you're in a cave.
Do you paint while you're having a migraine or after to reflect?
After. I would often take my sketchbook and I would draw just crazy images, just however I was feeling at that moment, and just try to release, an emotional release. And then later, when I wasn't in pain, I would go back and I would analyze those pictures and look at them and mull them over. They're very much a process in trying to clarify how I feel about this, what do I think about, what am I trying to say in this image. And it helped me understand my own emotions. It helped me with my husband when we were able to talk more about it and open the dialogue, open the paths of understanding.
We see changes in hope, in inspiring hope in individuals. We see physiological changes in terms, for example, with music, we see stress reduction, reductions in heart rate, blood pressure, all of which are very, very important for people who may have cardiac problems. And we see feelings of reduced isolation. People who are in hospitals are very isolated. And so we see them become more social and connected to other people.
So what's it like? Is it different to be on the receiving end of it? Now, we sang together, so it's...
Yeah, it's different, but it's pleasurable. It's very nice. I feel uplifted now just by you being in the presence. You know what I mean? It really makes me feel good. It gives you a warm feeling all over to be able to do this. So.
It seems like it's very close to your heart.
Very close to my heart, very close indeed. Spiritually wise, it's just the ultimate. And I'm 53 years old, cancer patient, but recovering. Yeah. Recovering in all facets, I'll put it that way. So, basically, that's about it. The group itself consists of 7 men. It's all spiritually motivated into the word of the Bible and things like that. Basically, that's about a lot about myself. My singing, I've sang ever since I was a child. I love singing.
Mm-hmm. What would you say it does for you? Like, what do you like about singing?
It just uplifts me all, just to, it doesn't make no difference what I'm singing. It's just to be able to bring it out.
Yeah.
You know, be able to express yourself in the form, in that type of form. So it's good to do that. So I'll sing a little bit for you right now. Amen.
I love it.
Oh Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder, how great thou art, then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That
You're
was
welcome.
gorgeous.
In the center, we really emphasize engaging the participants or engaging the community in the arts rather than providing the arts to them, for example, having them listen to music or having them discuss a work of art. It's really having them actively participate in the arts experience. And that makes a tremendous difference because it is so empowering. It helps them discover their own creativity. It helps them discover hope where they may not have had hope before. And rather than maybe only talking or thinking about maybe some of the losses that they are confronted with or the difficulties that they're being confronted with, now suddenly they're being offered a bunch of options that they may have discovered through their arts experience. And so it helps them get a new perspective on life or some of the issues that they're struggling with. And throughout all of our programming, active participation is key. It's true, I mean, all of our programming is, like with the spinal cord injury, I mean, we could have just brought music to the kids and sing songs for them, but instead we reversed it and we asked the kids to write the songs and tell us through their songs what they need to tell us. So it's a very different way of working.
The program is funded strictly by grants. We get a little support from the college, but we do a lot of grant writing to identify particular projects that we may be interested in accomplishing, so we'll write specific grants for specific projects.
I'm just passionate, I believe so much that the arts can really, really make a difference in individuals' lives. And I think we need that. I think, you know, not only here in the United States, but around the world, we need to have that. And I think it's an important part. And it's very important that we are strong advocates for this area, for funding, because this area, it's not easy to get the funding to do this kind of work because it is different. And then people see the arts as something that's just extracurricular. And it's trying to change the mindset of government and society that this is something that can really, really have a positive impact.
I think we are all born with the innate capacity, neurologically, to appreciate music and to be musicians. This has been shown in research, many capacity, some better than others in terms of musical talent, but we all have the innate capacity. When we look at children who are 1, 2, and 3, all children are singing. That's the way they learn and they exist and they communicate with their environment. So we are innately musicians and we're innately artists.